Okay, so hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. Of course, today is Sunday, we're quickly approaching Monday. I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about BBIG, what we've seen in the past week, and of course, talk a little bit about what I'm expecting into this upcoming week. You guys will know all of that is coming in the next 10 minutes or so, but do remember, this is not financial advice, it's just my personal opinion, and again, like I said, just an opinion. You should definitely do your own research and come to your own conclusions and even make your own opinions, as this is only mine and it is not proven to be fact. Make sure you're informed as to what you're investing in before you do make any decisions, but yes, now we're going to jump into the video. So where I want to start off tonight is looking at the interest for BBIG, and when I talk about interest I'm talking about from retail investors, because as I have said in multiple videos in the past, I think this is key to seeing growth going forwards in BBIG. So what I want to focus on here is what we are seeing from both StockTwits and over on Google Trends as well. This will be under the search term BBIG. The whole intention of this is that hopefully it will kind of give us a bit of an idea as to one, what retail are saying about the stock, and two, obviously how many messages or how many search terms are out there for BBIG and what people are, how much people are really mentioning this stock as of current. So first things first, we can see when we go on StockTwits, we have a little bit of a border here which tells us how the interest in BBIG has been. Ultimately, we are seeing from a sentiment standpoint, sentiment is up since mid last month, which is good. So we can see from last month at the beginning up until the mid part, we had quite low sentiment in comparison to where we are right now. That is coming back up, so potentially it does show that retail are still quite bullish on this one. Either way, it was always about 90+%, when it comes to bullish either way, so it doesn't really matter too much because it was still relatively high. But one thing that I do want to focus on more than that is really what we are seeing from stuff like message volume. And over time we are seeing message volume unfortunately fall. You can see the trend for this in the past month or so. We are seeing message volume come down from a point where it was over 100k down here. Now we're stepping down to levels at about 35k. So clearly less people are talking about BBIG on StockTwits, which isn't necessarily an indication of everything, it doesn't tell us everything about the stock as this is only one particular website. We can see that the amount of followers for BBIG is still about 52.5k, which is really good. And coming over here to Google Trends, we can see a similar image in the sense that a few weeks ago we were seeing relatively high searches for BBIG. It was sat at 100, which is the highest that we can go, of course, and right now we are falling a little bit. Now, one thing that is looking a little bit promising in my opinion as well or at least does happen to be the fact that we appear to be kind of leveling out over here when it comes to the amount of searches for BBIG. Now, by no means does this mean that we are going to massively shoot up again. It's not a stock chart, of course, but what it does tell us is that, of course, the amount of people who are searching for BBIG on a sustained level is there over the past week or so. And when we zoom out to the past month, this becomes a bit more clear. In the 30-day chart, if you can see, yes, we are definitely seeing the searches drop over time, as you can see from these highs up here at 100. We're now seeing highs down here at about 50, so yes, it has kind of like halved when it comes to the amount of searches for it, but overall we do appear to be finding a level where we are quite stable. So that doesn't really indicate everything. Another thing that we can do to see what's going on, we can go over to Twitter and have a quick look over there as to how many people are typing in tweets about BBIG. We can do this by just going up here and typing in BBIG, and it will tell you a number of how many tweets have been out there. If this doesn't work, we can just type in BBIG and this will also tell us the same figure. So BBIG in this period here, we can see we actually do have quite a few tweets from this. Coming into the most recent ones, we can see tweets only 2 minutes ago, then more 3 minutes ago. So long story short, we are still seeing sustained tweeting about BBIG, and oftentimes now people do go to Twitter to talk about stocks anyway. So overall, we are still seeing a relatively decent amount of interest for BBIG. Certainly we have lost a few investors. That's not necessarily the end of the world, but as I do always say, I often do think it is important with BBIG that we do need to keep those retail investors there. And this is something that we are seeing across the board, less so with AMC and GME, so I'm not really going to use them as an example, but things like ATER, for example, and a few of these other quote-unquote short squeeze stocks, we see a stock run up, we see everybody start to buy it, and as soon as it starts to fall by a little bit, people seem to lose interest in it. And I understand it, guys. Of course, the markets are about making profits, and especially in the past few months, I would assume that more and more people are getting into the market and more people are getting into these quote-unquote short squeeze stocks, which is fine. A few months ago it was SPAC stocks and it was penny stocks, and now it appears to be short squeeze stocks, and even before that it was crypto. So yeah, there's always a popular thing in the market right now, but what I'm trying to say is, not to undermine what people believe, but I do believe to an extent not everybody is informed. You know, the data is still looking good. And as I have often said, if we want short squeezes to happen across the market, whether it's big stocks or small stocks, what we need is we need people to kind of stick on one particular stock. Everybody is chasing the next profit, but by chasing the next medium profit or even small profit, we're missing out on the potential for large profits here and there. So yeah, the data for the stock is still looking good, but on top of that, guys, one thing that I do want to remind you of is the data isn't necessarily everything. We've discovered this more with AMC and GME as well, the amount of manipulation that goes on in the market. I'm not going to go into this too much, but I'm just reminding you guys that that is something there going forwards into next week. So yeah, a few things that I just wanted to highlight in this video, I have just done so. The main things of which are, the data isn't necessarily always accurate, and two, we do definitely need the interest from retail to stay there. Now right now, in my opinion, we do still have a fair amount of interest from retail, and even if we only have a relatively small portion of interest, that's completely fine, as long as those people do hold a relatively high number of shares based on my personal opinion. So I think there's no reason once more why this one cannot see a short squeeze. Is it going to happen this week? Personally, I do not think so. What are we going to see this week when it comes to price action? Now, with these stocks, I think it's very hard to predict. I've said this in the past, and as I always say with AMC, I do not care what I see this week in the stock. Ultimately, I want to see it in the green, of course. I want everybody to make money, but let's face it, guys, we're seeing a lot going on behind the scenes, like I said, manipulation potentially as well, and for all of those reasons, you know, it's not necessarily guaranteed that this stock is going to see some green in the week. So I just want to remind you of that going on behind what we are able to see. But now that I have done that, we are going to do a quick technical analysis on BBIG. So for this, we're going to pull up the interactive charts and type in BBIG. I'll do that very quickly by going over here and we'll type in BBIG. So we can see right here, when it comes to the charts for BBIG, most recently, things have been falling in the past week, as you guys will know. It's quite a shame, but it doesn't really mean anything, because now we are seeing a little bit of a leveling out, in my opinion. Definitely in there, you can see that on the 5-day chart a bit more clearly. We do appear to be hitting the high $5 range and then bouncing back off that and coming back up, so that's really good. And again, I'm not saying whether this one is going to go up or down in the next few weeks, but one thing that I do know is that when it comes to this stock, there are a few other factors. Like I said, retail interest is definitely going to be a big one, but I think also market conditions as a whole are important when, you know, kind of like determining the moves of this stock in the future. So the market has been really rough this week. We've seen a lot of our favourite stocks drop, so, you know, going forwards into the future, if we can see a stable market, I do not see any reason why BBIG cannot do pretty well. So I've already done a technical analysis with you guys on Friday in detail, so I just want to focus on the 1-day and the 5-day, then talk about my predictions. So really on the 1-day, we can see the moving average figure out here is at 608, slightly below where we are right now. This is because in the few moments at the end of the day, we saw the price of BBIG rise. I always say it in every single video, guys, this is something that we do see quite often, so it's not really something that caught anybody out. Subsequently, a few of the indicators are out. We've seen a high number on the RSI, but definitely not being overbought, and we are seeing a little bit of a stepping up on the MACD. The 5-day chart is showing a similar picture. We're sat at about 48 for the RSI, which is good. It's almost neutral. And we can see down here, we're almost sat exactly on that moving average as well, which is really good too. When it comes to the MACD, pretty flat trend, but, you know, almost neutral, so not really anything to worry about from that data as well. Now, the wider picture becomes clear in the 1 month, and this is what I really want to focus on, and the 3-month chart will give us the similar data. And this is what I was talking about with the price going forwards. Ultimately, I don't want us to drop any lower than the mid $5 range. I'm talking $5.50 or below. Like I said, we have found a support in that range or a little bit above it in the past, so one thing that I'm expecting, or at least hoping for, is for us to find another support there and potentially see a bit of a push upwards. Again, what I'm really looking for this week is a flat consolidation week or a small move upwards. I really do not want to see a red week, and the simple reason for that is because with a red week, what's going to happen to retail interest, and that really does concern me. Again, if we do want this one to see a short squeeze, the data's perfect for it in my opinion. But I think we also need the retail interest, and with BBIG, you know, the DD out there, but it's not necessarily as all-inclusive as it is with stocks like AMC. So retail isn't necessarily as informed, and people become quite scared when they are holding BBIG for a reasonable amount of time and they're seeing continuous drops, whereas with stocks like AMC GME, people will be far more comfortable to hold through drops because they have the DD behind them. So what I'm trying to say is, if this week is red, I think it definitely could see us unfortunately lose a few retail investors. I do hope that most of us are informed enough to know what's going on right now, but I think it is something that's possible. So really, I am looking for a flat consolidation week. And again, I'm not expecting too much on the front of growth. I do hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes up. But, you know, even if we do see a small bit of growth, I would be very, very happy with that. Just a few of my opinions, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. As always, tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you'll be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.